First defeat since the 24th September. So I just wonder whether, with the Crewe game coming so quickly afterwards, a defeat can ever be a good thing.
No, defeats are never a good thing because A, you want it to keep your run going, but B, you want to, if we'd have picked up the 3 points on Saturday, then we would have been 11th, I think. So that's how close the league is after getting beat. We're now 21st, but 5 points off the playoffs, but only 1 point away from the relegation. So it really has concertina the league, and everyone at the moment, other than the top three, is very much of a muchness, and it will be about putting a string of results together again, but wins. You can get 2 or 3 wins together, then we find ourselves back challenging with the top 7.
Was it a reminder about standards in a way, in the sense that you have had good standards, but that wasn't up to what you previously produced?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't up to what we'd previously produced, for the simple reason that we got into some good areas, but our shots went over the bar, our shots were blocked. When we had to find somebody in the box, I think we only did it once or twice. Once when Morgs hit right in, he hit it over the bar, and we had lots of corners and set plays. 2 set plays hit the wall. A lot of the corners weren't quite where we wanted, and then we got beat on a real good individual goal by probably their best player on the day, and poor individual marking from a corner, which normally we're good at, and so I was really disappointed with that, because that was somebody at the time who wasn't quite in the zone and should have been.
Given what happened in the first tie against Crewe, will set plays be important again, because you had some joy in the first game?
Yeah, set plays are important in all games, because at our levels, that's 50% of your goals generally is the stat. So we have to make sure that we win both penalty areas. That's what you got to do. Get on to the ball first in both penalty areas, and against Crewe, that's what we got to do, and that's what we got to do between now and the end of the season against everybody. Because if we can get our 2 goals, we generally don't lose too many matches. But at the moment, we've got to get those 2 goals regular. And I've got to feel like we've got 3 goals in us, 4 goals in us, before I can be confident that we can go on this 2, 3, 4 game winning run.
Do you sense Crewe have a weakness at set pieces?
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but that's up to their manager to decide whether he thinks they've got weaknesses. They should determine. The first thing is getting the set play, so you've got to have action up at their end. The second thing is you've got to have good delivery. Third thing is you've got to have good organisation. And then the fourth thing is you've got to have that desire to get on the end of it. And generally we've got all them, but we didn't have it up at Hartlepool. So hopefully we can get back to our best in that area of set plays. And it's not only set plays. Of course it isn't. Because you've got to earn them, so you've got to play a bit. And Crewe are a decent side. Well, they're 5th in the league at the moment, or something, 6th. So we know that there's no mugs now. The top 3 teams, top 5 teams, to me, they're sort of ahead of the others. Their budgets are bigger than everybody else. Their ambition is the same as everyone else, but they're expected to be up there. And then everyone else, 19, 20 teams at the moment, they're pretty much of a muchness. So there's an opportunity for everybody in the league, including Newport after their result on Saturday, to get up into a challenging spot for a playoff.
I appreciate it was a long drive home on the bus on Saturday, but the replay means you don't dwell on that for too long, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm always happy after a defeat to have a game quickly. I always feel more sorry for our supporters that have done the 4 or 5 hours on the road and not really seen their team perform. I don't think it was the work rate necessarily, it was more the performance and the lack of intent, if you like, to go and get a goal. I didn't think we was running past them enough, playing 1-2s, that type of intent. So I'm happy when we get a game straight away, and it's an important game for us, an important game at the club, as they all are now, but we'd like to get through to the next round of the FA Cup, enjoy our day at Sutton, and then who knows who you might get. We might get our scoreboard a bit sooner than people expect.
How much is the draw an incentive to both you and Crewe?
Well, neither of us will want to be disrespectful to Sutton. You could class it as a good draw, although Sutton are a decent team. That's why they got promoted to the National League. They also know their pitch better than anyone else, the AstroTurf. So we have to be aware of that. But of course, it's the one before the big one. So it's a good opportunity for either club to progress, but it's not a given because it's the FA Cup.
How far down the motorway was it when you worked out in your head what to do because of Jordan Cranston's 5th yellow card, which means he misses this match?
Not far. We might have still been had the engine running ready to leave Hartlepool, so I don't think we'd even moved before we started thinking about it. But I know what I'm doing anyway, as far as who's going to play there, and it will be. You sure? I won't be telling you, because I know all the other managers look at our website as it's so good, and your paper and all that sort of thing is it's so good, and your radio station so good. Actually, I'm there, and on Thursday doing the dinner or something.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Look forward to that. I know the team in my head. I've brought it into the staff, and they've all had a look at it, and we all feel that with a little bit of work on it this morning, we'll be okay.
What chance are there Alex Cooper or James Rowe being involved?
Well, both of them, we got to talk to Gav this morning to see whether they've got an opportunity to be involved. So I haven't seen him yet because he's still looking after the injured ones, and he sees us around about 10 o'clock and tells us who's fit. But I would like to think that they're both fit, but if they're only 80% fit, then they won't be involved.
Just lastly, you've played them in the league, Crewe at home, you've played them in the cup at home, so presumably not much chance of springing a surprise, or do you have something tucked away in your back pocket that you can fling at them that will be new?
Yeah. Well, yes, you can do that. They will know us, and they will think that they've got maybe something in their back pocket. We may think we have, but at the end of the day, it's when the two sets of teams get out on that pitch, and they've got to be the best team to go through. You can't leave it to luck and not be the best team and still go through. So it'll be about, I've said it before, who's up for the cup the most.
Okay. You mentioned a couple sort of a bit mentally below their best. Is it a case that some might be better for a game out, just to have a look at it and come back in?
Yeah, that's the conundrum really with players, because if you talk to them, they'll say, I'm not tired, I want to play. But Saturday, Tuesday does start getting to people that are not used to Saturday, Tuesday at this level. Because if you look at our team, how many of them, more than half, have not played at this level before? So they're still learning about their mental state, over a lot of games in a short period of time, whether they can keep mentally bright and not be dopey, which is what I called them at the end of the game. I thought they was a bit dopey during the game against Hartlepool. But they won't admit that because they obviously want to play. So I've got to see what I see, but I don't want to be leaving out one of the better players who has got a good game in him, because I think he's looked a bit tired. Because sometimes that is motivation, where you go, you look tired and I'm going to leave you out soon. that could be motivation to get them going. So it is one of them conundrums with professional footballers, that do you leave them out and pick somebody who's fresh? That's why you need a fully fit squad that are all ready, so that it doesn't matter who you leave out and who you bring in. I think at the moment we've still got a few on the bench that have not long been back from injury, and whether they're ready or not remains to be seen. But I've made my decision for Saturday, and you'll see what decision I've made at 3 o'clock on Saturday. No, it won't.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's 7:45 on Tuesday.
Yeah, we get there. We're getting there early to work on a bit of stuff.
It sounds like Dan Holman's then not quite ready to come in for a start, or is it just a case of not wanting to risk him too soon?
I don't think I've steered you either way on that one. I think I'm just telling you my thoughts really, and I'll be speaking to all the boys today anyway to see where they think they are, so that I get a little bit of a feedback from them, and hopefully if they're honest with me, I'll know if they're not honest, because if they tell me they're ready and I play them and they're not, then it could be a bit of a bit longer time before they get back in.
Well, that'd be another sort of one-on-ones with
yeah.
just pretty much like before the Stevenage game.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
The only time you get to hear about it is when you ask me the question. So it's not as though I suddenly go, oh, we've lost, I'll start in. Sometimes it's asking players, what do you need? Are you happy? Are you okay? Are you all right with the game we're giving you? Have you got any problems that we can help you with? Because sometimes the problems are out there, not out on the training ground. There's 25 players you've got to look after, and sometimes they have a problem at home or something, that is affecting them. And if you can help them in any way, then obviously that'll help their football.
Just finally, you mentioned wanting to score 3 or 4 goals in a game just to have that threat. Do you think you're threatening enough from open play at the moment?
I think we can be better, definitely. I think we've had a couple of good games where we could have got 3 or 4, but we haven't yet. I don't think we have anyway. And I want us to look like we can score that amount of goals by being a threat for longer and having a bit better quality when we're in dangerous situations. And I think our supporters up at Hartlepool would have seen a couple of times we got through and could have crossed it to somebody in the middle that was free, and we didn't get it to them. And they're the ones that where the more quality the player, the more times he picks out the one with 5 defenders around him, but you can still pick out that one. That's what we need more of.
Thank you.
All right.